It has been studied that out of the top 43 most stressful life events that can cause illness in a person, divorce is ranked at number 2. So whether it's a divorce or really any traumatic, stressful life event, and you are struggling to just figure out what the first steps are to get out of rock bottom, this video is for you. Hi everyone, my name is Erica, and this is episode 2 of my divorce series, where I am documenting how I am rebuilding my life and reinventing myself as a person inside out. It has been about like 4 or 5 months since the end of my divorce. I wanted to share some tangible steps and mindset shifts that I had to do in order to get back on my feet, show up for myself and my kid, and get back into the driver's seat of my life again. So no matter where you are in the journey, please know you are not alone. You're gonna make it through, and hopefully this framework can help you towards the right direction that is truly authentic to you and the life that you deserve. In case you missed my first episode and want to continue with me with the series, be sure to click and save this playlist. I love you guys so much, and let's get started. So this is what we're gonna cover in today's video, and I actually wanted to do a drawing exercise because if you just got through a divorce or you're at rock bottom and you are just swimming with like the thousands of to-do lists, I wanted to create this image for you guys so that it feels digestible and also show you a progression of steps out of rock bottom into the positive future that is awaiting you. So I have a triangle or a pyramid here, and we're gonna break it up into 3 sections. This bottom is going to be you, the middle is going to be the present, and the top is, of course, the future. Now, the goal is to climb the mountain where you 2.0 is waiting, and you are leaving your old self, your old life behind. And here you are in the middle. So let's zoom into the bottom and the first part of what we're gonna discuss in today's video, which is you. There's a reason why on a plane, you have to put your mask on first before you help anyone else. Literally, you cannot execute efficiently, survive the day, and you cannot plan effectively unless you have your mental, physical, emotional health in a place that can actually do it. So here are the 4 pillars that we're gonna discuss today. And then moving up to present, these are the bare minimum, most urgent top priority actions that you need to focus on. You are not to worry about all of the things that are gonna happen 1 year, 5 years, 10 years from now. This is literally just what is the to-do list for today. And then of course we have the fun part, which is the future. Here I am putting dream vision. So this is the table of contents for today's video. This framework is meant to empower you to take steps forward from bad circumstances into your positive future. But if you're needing professional help on this journey, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist to help you through difficult times, divorce being a great example. You can visit my link, betterhelp.com/Miss Louie. You'll be invited to answer a few questions, and then BetterHelp will be able to match you with a professional with years of experience. And it makes it super convenient because you can access BetterHelp through a computer or a cell phone, through phone calls, messaging, or video call. Whichever form feels the most comfortable to you and the most easily accessible. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours. You can get started very quickly. And if you happen to not like your first matches, you are able to switch a therapist at any point in time. They make it super convenient and easy, and the priority is really just to get yourself some professional therapy help, all from the comfort of your own home, which makes it very convenient for my busy parents out there or people that aren't able to travel easily to a therapist in person. So if you guys are interested in trying BetterHelp today, I have my link down below, betterhelp.com/Miss Louie, and you can use my code to get a discount off of your first month. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. So let's start off at the bottom of the pyramid, which is you. And this can feel so counterintuitive if you have lived a life up until this point of giving yourself to others, seeking external validation, especially if you're a parent. It can feel so abnormal to put yourself first, but it is the most essential thing because you are the machine and you have to survive the day for yourself and your children. So step number 1 is forgiveness. I want you to think about your shame, your guilt, your resentment, all the stories that are just cooking in your head of, oh my God, if I just did this, this wouldn't have happened. How did I get myself here? And oh my God, what are people gonna think of me? No. I'm sure you've seen the scale before, but it's so powerful. This is the vibrational scale of emotions. And if you look at the bottom of the scale, literally guilt and shame is at the very, very bottom. It's some of the most negative emotions and feelings that you can have. When you are resonating in this low vibrational energy, it will permeate every facet of your life in terms of the people that come in and the actions you take. And taking yourself out of that red zone into at least the neutrality, and then over time get yourself into the upper vibrational of peace level. love, and joy. But I really think the key thing, and especially after divorce, whether you decided to leave like I did, or whether you got dumped, it can be so enticing to just be chained to these terrible thoughts of, I'm a failure. No, release the shame, release the guilt. That was weird. The ghosts agree. Life is a river. Sometimes you're gonna go through peaceful serenity times, and sometimes you're gonna get crashed into the rocks. To judge and internalize those bad moments when really everything in your life was meant to happen to that moment so that you can transform and redirect into the right direction, don't just stay stuck on the rock and contemplating why, when, how. God and the universe is on your side. You are meant to flow through these periods with grace and love, and the only way to do that is to forgive yourself so you can get back on the mother effing raft and start getting down the river again, okay? I do not want to get wrinkles by being a bitter, sour woman. I want to get better, which means I want to get wrinkles from laughing my ass off, enjoying my life, leaving the past in the past so that I can march forward faster and easier. That is the power of forgiveness. And moving to the most important section in this entire video, number 2 is mindset shifts. Your mindset will make or break your ability to come out of rock bottom and truly change your life. One of my favorite quotes from Einstein: we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. If you notice that you have a perpetual pattern to repeat the same cycles, date the same people, make the same mistakes over and over and over again, this is truly a time while you're in rock bottom or you're post-divorce. Do the hard work to change your mindset, because it doesn't matter how much effort you put or how many actions you try to will. If your computer up here is thinking negative, limiting thoughts, you're just gonna be spinning your wheels. It is so much easier to start to do the hard work to reprogram your mindset into the U 2.0 mindset. Then all of a sudden, eating well, exercising, taking care of yourself, welcoming abundance into your life will be like automatic flow. You will not be constantly fighting against yourself every single day. So let me break it down for you. Number 1 is releasing victimhood mentality. Now, of course, I'm not talking about true victims of abuse and violence and crimes. I'm talking about the victimhood mindset of, I can't help myself because of this person. Life is always against me. I'm stuck and can't do anything because this person said this to me one time. If you notice that you get very defensive and have lots of excuses and blame towards others for the reason why your life is not going the way you want it to go, you could be a victim of the victimhood mindset. And I say that with a lot of compassion because that is how I lived a lot of my life. Now, of course, when your emotions come up and you have those triggers flail, absolutely look at them, validate yourself. And I'm talking about in terms of the reasons why you tell yourself you cannot take action in your life. If you want to start changing your life, you have to take accountability of your life. Constant complaining and excuses will literally keep you in a rock bottom state of powerlessness, because ultimately we always have a choice. And it is so enticing to blame external circumstances that you cannot control for the reasons why you cannot take control of your life. If you do desire this life, but you keep making excuses why you cannot break through to get there, you're only hurting yourself. You truly step into your power when you take full responsibility of your life. You're sitting on your own throne, you're calling your own shots, you're taking responsibility for the things that you do, the things that you say, believe, and think, good or bad. Because baby, if you do not take charge of your life, someone else will. Mindset shift number 2 is the past does not exist. Now, whether you agree with that statement or not, we can all agree that you cannot change the past. Absolutely, there's massive healing to be involved for events that happened in the past, but those events happened in the past. They're not happening right now. So rotting on the couch and feeling so down in the dumps because you feel so shitty about what has transpired is the most useless thing that you can do. The power that you have in your life to transform your life and create the dream future is actually right now in the now. It is making the decision of what you're gonna do this next minute, this next hour. You need to take action, cut the cord so you can lighten the load, and you can start to actively heal so that you can move forward. Literally, there are some stories that I would say over and over again to my friends, and one day I was like, oh my god, I am so bored of talking about this. Like, I literally looked at myself and I was like, shut up! Save your breath, save your mental space. You got goals to achieve. That shit's long gone. You do not have to carry it anymore, girl. Do not let your past dictate your current value and how you can change. change. Do not let your past cripple you from taking action in the now. Shift number 3, every day is a new day. If you're someone like me that loved a lot of self-pity and self-flogging, I wasn't productive today, oh my god, I should know better. Wallowing is not gonna get you out of rock bottom. What I started to have to do with myself is to think of every day as like this continuous cycle. Try something, you learn, absorb the lesson, leave the negativity, and start brand new the next day as a newer, wiser human being. Day by day, treating every single minute, hour, and day as a new, fresh start will create a momentum of these small, positive actions of growth that will compound, and then all of a sudden, in a week, a month, a year, you realize you are not in the same place that you started. The next 2 mindset shifts, this was the breakthrough for me, okay? Mindset shift number 4 is to work on your self-concept. I've been working on this like I'm trying to get a PhD in it. Self-concept is the belief you have about yourself and how the world works for you. You are always thinking from the version of yourself that you think you are. Let me give you an example. When I was in rock bottom, my self-concept sounded like I'm just a single mom, I have no value in the world anymore, I am a failure, I am unlovable, I am broken, I am weak, and I am nothing without a man. Self-concept now, I am a single mom, I make the money, I run the house, I nurture my son, and I am deserving of care and love. Now imagine those 2 people and how they not only perceive the world, but also the actions they take on a daily basis. I work so hard to just shift my identity from a sulking, sad, powerless woman into a woman of inspired action and self-validation. Imagine trying to get a job when you think you're a failure and a loser. Imagine trying to get a loving relationship when you think you're ugly and unlovable. You will experience cognitive dissonance because you believe you're shit, but you keep trying to get towards these things. So you need to raise your self-concept in order to attract and receive and go after the things that your conscious mind really, really wants. It's gonna be so much easier to take action on all of those goals and visions if you automatically have the computer mind that says, I am loved, I am capable, I'm worthy, and I'm strong. I can do anything and I can overcome anything. If you look in the mirror and you see someone like that, that person will not tolerate being in rock bottom. So that leads into limiting beliefs. Your mind is 10% conscious mind and 90% subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind holds all of your beliefs, values. The subconscious is the thing that's running the show. The problem is that it is polluted with things like social programming, childhood trauma, and limiting beliefs. Because your subconscious wants to protect you from feeling pain or cognitive dissonance, every time you try to achieve new levels of success, but deep inside, you do not think that you are a successful person or that you are valuable, you will constantly feel like you are a fake. This is where procrastination, self-sabotage, and imposter syndrome comes up all the time. So the way to start working on limiting beliefs is to police your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Because we're running on such autopilot, there's things that we say to ourselves that we don't even know that we keep saying to ourselves, like, I only attract bad men, I am always late. The only way to be successful is if I get a college degree and become a doctor. Whatever it is, and wherever it came from, it is up to you to look at it and really question if this is a belief that is keeping you from your best self, and would you 2.0 accept that thought in their psyche. You are just reaffirming that in your subconscious, and you're gonna constantly play it out and self-sabotage and make sure that your outer world will reflect that inner belief. And the most powerful words that you can ever say is I am. I'm so conscious of what I think about myself, what I say, and when I say the words I am, I make sure that those words that come after that are positive and uplifting and getting me to you 2.0. And the last mindset shift is gratitude. Gratitude is so important, especially if you're in rock bottom. It almost becomes easier sometimes when you're just like, oh, I give up. Then all of a sudden you look up and it's a beautiful blue sky outside. You hear your child start laughing. You take a sip of your favorite drink. I'm alive. I get to be a human. I get to be a creator. I get to do cool shit in this life. There is something so grounding and beautiful when you understand that the abundance of life is actually right here, right now, all around you. It is just your perception and the overwhelm of the emotional distress that really distracts you. Understand that this is a storm that will pass. But doing the huge shift from lack mindset to abundant mindset, raising your vibrational level from that red zone into the blue-purple zone, and you'll be able to start to receive and manifest a lot easier. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. So moving on to healing, this is gonna be, of course, a lifelong journey. In the initial aftermath of a divorce or rock bottom, I think the most important thing about healing is to make the commitment that you will focus on it. Sometimes you don't know what you need to heal until it presents itself. So this means being aware of when you are triggered. Someone says something and all of a sudden you get pissed and angry, or sometimes something happens and you feel alone and abandoned. Those are incidences where it's like, oh shit, okay, let me add that to the healing to-do list. I will work it out with myself or my therapist or through whatever healthy means that you want to do that. I had to get to this space where I realized healing isn't just like a course that you can just knock out in a month. Healing is really a lifelong journey, and something like a long relationship. I mean, I was in my relationship for like 11 years and I was married 9 years. It's gonna take time, baby. God and the universe will present you the parts that are ready to be looked at and ready to be released. So if you're working on the forgiveness and the mindset part of the you pyramid scheme, we call this a pyramid scheme. When those wounds come up, you're gonna have tools like forgiveness and grace and self-love and self-acceptance and positivity and abundance. You can embrace the healing so much easier and wholeheartedly, especially because all of us are not perfectly healed when we become parents. It will be such an amazing investment in your child and your ability to parent if you start healing the parts of yourself that you do not want to pass on to your children. And then the last part is self-care or health. Like studies have shown, divorce is one of the most stressful things you can go through in your life. I've never had cortisol and migraines and just physical weakness in my entire life than when I was going through my divorce. So self-care, it is not a cute TikTok or a Pinterest pin. It is like a freaking necessity, okay? For example, letting your body come out of fight or flight. The first 2 months out of me getting out of my divorce was literally just trying to get my body to come out of fight or flight. Every single thing was a trigger. Everything was just sent me spiraling. I was just a stress ball, and I had to keep reaffirming and doing different things to get my body to just unwind and relax, and letting my body know that it's safe now and it could be at peace and it does not need to be like going into adrenaline mode. Rest is also very important. I know we want to stay up all night and spiral, but getting that solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep in order to show up as a parent and for yourself and to go to work and to tackle all the things that we need to do to keep a household up. Eat well, sunshine, exercise. Oh, and meditation. If you're ready to blow up and you just are so overwhelmed, just sit in the corner for 2 minutes and breathe. Just moving on to the second section of the pyramid, we have the present. One of my mentors always reminds me of this, and it's so powerful because we can be so overburdened with anxiety over what the future looks like, and then overburdened about what the past has done to us. But truly, when you take a step back, the only power we have to change our circumstances is the now. Being present isn't only just about enjoying life and soaking in reality's moment right now, but what you do right now is how you're gonna transform and reach your future. It's the small actionable steps you take every single day that accrues and builds and compounds into the best version of yourself and the life you truly want to be living to be authentic to you. As I was getting a handle on the you part, where I'm feeling stronger again, I've overcome so much shit, I can do this. Now I had to create like a short to-do list of just making sure your life is running. So the first thing, and this only applies to my parents out there, is your children. Children, of course, are gonna come first as of the right now present. You gotta be strong because you gotta be on top of your child's well-being, right? Their entire world depends on you. And of course, if you are like me and you have a co-parent, I'm so sorry if you do not have a co-parent and you're doing it yourself, by the way. I never wanna mention anything about my circumstances as like a sour note. I am fully acknowledged of my privilege that I have a co-parent. So my heart goes out to all my single mothers that are 100% on your own. But no matter how your co-parenting custody is structured, you and your partner have to come together in some way, shape, or form to give your child the best, right? That's why we put the kid first, not worry about the stupid petty shit. So just personal examples, making sure my son was in a great program, program, that he has a friend group, that he is connected with his family. I, unfortunately, it was out of my control, but my entire life is in California. My family, my friends, they're all in San Francisco. So I had to make sure that my son has not only the connectivity to my presence and also his peers, but also connection with his family that aren't even here in Colorado. So my focus was on that and making sure he was happy, healthy, fulfilled, rested. Why it's also important that you need a good sleep and you need to take care of the foundation first, because it's a lot to take care of another human. And that leads me into the second pillar of the present, which is routines. Routines are not only good for your child, right? So my first priority was building my son's routine first. Now I was gonna build my routine. That meant getting back to work again, trying to figure out the best resting schedule, self-care schedule, traveling schedule. You need a routine because it establishes stability and self-discipline for yourself, especially if you're coming from a place of complete chaos. You never had a routine before, your stuff's all over the place, you are somehow so exhausted by doing 1,000 things, but somehow you don't get any of them done. That's where the routine comes in. If you systemize your basic necessity tasks, you can just turn your brain off and just follow the set of rules. Your child will feel safe and secure because they know what to expect. And then you feel some level of stability, self-esteem, self-discipline. And those are the skills you're gonna need in order to get into your 2.0 self. That person that you're trying to identity shift into is definitely doing those things, right? So you might as well start today and ground yourself in a very good routine. Oh, and most importantly, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can have 1,000 different iterations and drafts. The whole point is just to start with. You're gonna get so much more experience by the doing of it, and then you can just keep adjusting things as you go. That's the beautiful thing about rock bottom or being done with an old relationship. You get to define your life now. Build your dream routine, try it out. If it doesn't work, no big deal. Have fun with the experimentation and the creation of your own authentic life. Then next up, we have finances. This is gonna look so different for every single person. When you're coming out of a divorce or you're rock bottom, it can look devastating, all right? It's okay. What I did was I just took some basic inventory of the mess. Really, it's just being able to keep the lights on and shaving your expenses. If you're in the divorce bucket like me and you're going from 2 incomes to 1 income and your divorce was financially devastating, there's a reason why I didn't get into the tea during my divorce. But let me just tell you, my divorce cost 3 times more than my wedding, okay? Be careful who you marry. There is stability when you're used to 2 incomes in a married paradigm. I started to freak out. I'm like, looking at so much big picture stuff about how am I gonna be able to recoup and have double income and save for my son and relaunch my career, and what if no one watches my videos anymore? It was like, you will figure it out as you go. You can't physically have all the answers right now when you're just getting back on your feet, okay? So I just mentally had to take a step back and trim down to the basics. Getting income, trimming expenses, taking a basic inventory of those things in order to just keep the lights on for now. And the last pillar for the present is support. Not only do you need support as a human, as you're healing, as you're trying to transfer from having like a relationship, which had so much of your social energy, now you need to replenish yourself with the other types of relationships that you have. Your girlfriends, your family, your community. I literally started to fill all my love tanks again with all these relationships that I had on the wayside. So support can mean for getting yourself back up and remembering who you are and the people that matter in your life outside of your ex-person, but also is a time to not be afraid to ask for help. If you have options of childcare in any way, shape, or form, lean on those people, ask for help, letting them know I'm just getting back on my feet, this is temporary. Or one of my favorite things to do is when you have other mom friends, it's 4 p.m., you're exhausted, your toddler is like revving to go, I'll bring food, the kids play together, they get all their energy out, while the moms all bond together. Win, 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 right? Right now on my non-parenting time, I am just replenishing all of these love tanks. My peers, my friends, my family, none of them are here. I have to go to California and reignite all of these important relationships that I just let dry up over time. And it's been one of the most soul-fulfilling things in remembering where I came from and the people that have supported me and how I just gave so much of my energy into like a dying relationship, and how rich and abundant I am, not in the things that I have, but the people that I have in my life. So support goes both ways, physical and your emotional, spiritual health. Lean on it right now. And complete compassion for people out there that don't have a support system. If you don't, start making friends, start joining mom groups. We're humans. We need social interaction and mental stimulation, and for someone to see you. If you have it, embrace it. If you don't have it, start to build it. All right, last but not least, we're at the top of the pyramid scheme. We have gone through all the downlines. Let's talk about where we are heading. And I want this to be very custom and intimate to you, but what I started to do for my future without giving me anxiety about the future was I did this two-step process of creating an anti-vision and also a dream vision. So if you're like me and you're in your mid-30s and you've gotten like a pretty good run of your first, go at life, your starter marriage, whatever. I feel like you have a pretty solid list that you can just jot down real quick about what you don't want in your life. And what's powerful about an anti-vision is that because it's based off of experience, you just lived it. So things that were on my anti-vision, kind of like a scared straight list of what I don't want to go back to, is I do not want to be overworked. I do not want to burn out. I do not want to have relationships that aren't full of love and compassion. I do not want a stagnant routine. I do not want to say yes to things that don't make me happy. Whatever it is, this is a way to just collect some of your life experience to be like, yo, don't go back there, it don't work. So after you have your anti-vision of your life, how you don't want your life to look, this is a great first step, because if you're lacking imagination or positivity or optimism, like, you could just look at your anti-vision list and be like, oh, okay, so let's see, my dream life, my dream vision, my 2.0, I am living my dream job with a balanced work-life routine. I am in my dream home, in my dream place, in complete serenity. I am in a relationship that is loving, that I feel seen in, and is full of passion and expansion. I am traveling the world with my family and my son, giving us all unique experiences. Whatever it is, I want you to go nuts. And I want you to go nuts in a sense that you're desperate for it. Like, oh my God, like if I don't have these things, then my life is over. No, that's not how you manifest. You have this vision of where you are going, but you have a sense of detachment where you're not desperate. You know those things are gonna come, but you're focused on the present. You are trusting in God and the universe to bring you the best things for yourself in its right time. And you're focusing on you. You're focusing on your children. You're focusing on what you can do today. You are just beautifully detached and flowing down the river of life, knowing that you have already come from rock bottom and it's only up from here. That is the energy of what this top triangle is about. And for me, I also put two other things in there. I put financial freedom, and I also put a new home. You can craft those bubbles the way you want to, but for me and what I want for my future, I'm sure it's because I'm a super Capricorn, but being financially free to never worry about money again and having everything set up for me and my son in a secure way is very important to me. And then the other is a new home. I have always built all of my homes with another person. My homes are always about my marriage life. I want a place that I can plant my flag in and be like, this is the place that makes me happy. This is where I can thrive. This is where I can raise my son. Identifying a new home and new space that is just for Erica. I mean, I literally don't think I've had my own space since like I was in a dorm room in college. This triangle is gonna evolve and have more bubbles or change bubbles over time as you start to experience your life again. Think about this triangle as like you placing your order to God and the universe, and you let them worry about how it's gonna happen. You focus on those two bottom pillars of you and the right now and what you can control. You can control yourself, you can control your actions, your mindset, your health, your well-being. Focus on those things and trust that the best of the best is coming for you in its right time. All right, you guys, that does it for today's video. I hope that this was a comprehensive framework for you guys to start trying and getting yourself out of that shit place. I have been there, and I want you to know that you are not alone. And if you are not loving your circumstances right now, they are temporary and you will get out of this. You are strong enough and you can do it. Take back the power of your life and your situation, and you will see yourself and the world around you transform. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you in episode 3. Bye!